up, everybody? Lawler here over at twitch.tv/Lawler, hanging out with chat, as you guys can see by some of the weird messages. People wanting attention. They're kids. We ignore them. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the North American Closed Qualifiers for Regional number 3. We are into the final event of the fall split before we get into the major, which is exactly 1 month away as of recording of this video. It's going to be pretty fun. We've got a bunch of teams that I have not seen the results of at all, going through open qualifiers and then ending up in closed qualifiers for a chance of one last run in the main event. In today's video, we're going to break down the results, the matches, and take a candid look because I have yet to see any of these results other than the things that chat has spoiled. And then we're going to look at the main event, kind of play that out, see how things go, maybe look at some early predictions, but primarily taking a look at the rankings as well as kind of the importance of what needs to happen for some of these teams. We got a 4-way tie for 5th place and a bunch of other craziness going on, so should be exciting. But with that said, let's jump over to the other screen. So we're taking a look at the fall North American Regional number 3. This went down on Sunday, just yesterday, but it's going to be Tuesday when this video comes out. Future is weird. But we had a bunch of teams that did not make it into the main event guaranteed. The way that that works, and it's different from previous weeks, is in the overall rankings, they take the top 8 and say, hey, you've made it. Good job. Enjoy the main event. While the other ones get invited into the others. So these are the teams that got invited. There's some that came from open qualifiers and some that came from the point rankings. So the top 8, so 9 through 16 would be Ghost, Torrent, Sonics, Rogue, Vibrance, Charlotte Phoenix, RBG, and Shopify Rebellion. And then the rest of these came from an open qualifier tournament. Top 8, Accelerate, Oxygen, Pittsburgh Knights, Yo, United, Team.exe, and Team DVS. Some of these are familiar, some of these are not. One team in particular that's missing, Integrity. Obviously, they had a really good run in the first regional with DVS. Not back this time. So again, some competition and some depth in the region, but primarily these teams in order, 1st seed, 16th seed, etc., are competing for a chance to go to the main event and join the other 8 that have already qualified. We'll cover that at the end. The big thing here as well is, according to internet issues Taroka was having, Corrupted G had to play a little bit in Swiss rounds 1 through 3. Apparently, it didn't stop them. We'll talk about that in a bit. So, our 16 teams are listed. They played in another Swiss bracket where 1-0 plays 1-0, 2-0 plays 2-0, and teams that come from the high side play teams from the low side, always giving advantage to the teams that are performing more consistently. Taking a look at the results, we're going to skip through the massive list. We're going to go round by round and not spoil things too much to us, even though we just saw the big red. Ignore that. This is what we got. Ghost Gaming against TXE. Team EXE, talking way too fast for Midwestern dialect. Ghost Gaming ends up winning their first round. Torrent getting upset by Yo. Who is playing on Yo this time? Zanil, Stealth, and 2Ps. Okay. Talented kids. Just haven't really been able to put it together on the main stage for us. Those are kind of the people that, when things come around and you need new players, they get picked up for a chance to go through those bubble teams and then eventually progress through if they have a really big showing. Currently, if you guys haven't seen the news, I'll talk about that in a future video. Blaze, no longer with his roster. Maybe. Don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's trying out for Shopify Rebellion. That's been the rumors, but Blaze did say that was a lie. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. We then saw Sonics go in a close fight against E United, which is pretty crazy considering the end of things, which I have seen. Rogue beat DVS as they should. Vibrance over Accelerate, as Vibrance has shown consistently a top 16. We got PK showing up finally against RBG. Oxygen showing up against Charlotte Phoenix. And then Shopify Rebellion getting a W. Way to start round 1. Obviously, Shopify Rebellion still not playing with Beast Mode, using their sub. Things have not been pretty, is the best way to explain it. The big surprises here, though. Oxygen over Charlotte Phoenix. Good to see Oxygen bouncing back a little bit. And then PK, which has a ton of talent, just hasn't been able to really put it together. Trying out Omar this time around has been pretty good. We then jump into round 2, and it's going to take all the teams in green and play them against each other based upon game differential. So you can look at some of these. PK with a 3-0 is going to play the team with the worst game differential out of all the winning teams, which is Yo, who goes +1. It goes game differential if they've played each other before. That's the kind of next check. And then it'll also check to see the incoming seed. So out of all the teams that won, Yo has the lowest incoming seed out of all of the teams in here. So that's who they play, and it goes down the list. Oxygen plays Rogue and 3-0s them. That is a big surprise and an exciting one for Oxygen. Not so good for Rogue, who's been trying to find their identity with Gyro as of late. Pittsburgh Knights beating Yo. Pretty solid results. Game 3, usually that kind of differential one. So good to see Yo bounce back and show some adversity. And then Vibrance over Shopify Rebellion, which I would probably give the nod to right now, which is crazy how much of an impact Beast Mode not being there is changing things. And then obviously Ghost Gaming over Sonics. This one I thought would be a lot closer. Looking at the results though, it kind of tells the tale. Keeping them shut out. Sonics, I think, has always been a very solid team, but I do think that their offense needs to find some consistency, and that's always been the difficulty. I think they're really solid rotationally. Same thing with Ghost, but their offense just tough. We then go to the low side. So all the teams here that have lost, all the teams here will play each other based upon game differential and if they've played each other in the past, which isn't possible because we're only in round 2. We then go Torrent versus RBG, and that should be, to me, a sign of how things are going right now for the day for Torrent. If Torrent is going close against United and winning, but going also close to RBG, I have some concerns. They do get a victory, but Torrent is a team that I do consider easily top 16 and should be winning that game convincingly. A little bit of concern there for me. Charlotte Phoenix bouncing back against DVS. Accelerate beating top late as they should. And then United upsetting Team AXE, if you want to call it an upset. Obviously, United the past couple regionals has not been all that great, but they do 3-0 convincingly. That's a lot of goals per game to average. United offense starting to click, it looks like. So good results for them. That puts them in the mid. So we then have the 2 teams, or the 4 teams, 2 matches that come out. So Oxygen, PK, Vibrance, Ghost have to play each other in some capacity. These teams will then drop down and have to play the winners from the low round. So Yo, Rogue, Shopify Rebellion, and Sonics have to play United, Accelerate, Charlotte Phoenix, and Torrent in some capacity. And then RBG, DVS, top lane, and EXE go to the low seed, and they play each other to see who gets eliminated first. So we then go to the lower round. Vibrance plays PK and wins. Goes to 5-3 overtimes. Damn, what a series. PK, obviously, with the new addition, have been trying to show that they are a top team potential. They obviously have made some, like after the first regional, it was really poor, and they like instantaneously are like, yo, let's bring in Omar, let's change things up. So PK trying to make some adjustments. They do fall short to a Vibrance team who has been to regionals of the past. So glad to see Vibrance showing some consistency, unlike DVS, Integrity, etc. These were kind of the question marks about, hey, you got to do it more than once, and they have been. Oxygen upsetting Ghost Gaming. That one is a pretty big surprise. Ghost Gaming starts off with a W, and then the Spaceman sweep from Oxygen. Awesome to see that out of Oxygen. I know Sad Jr. and the boys over there have been working really hard to make things happen. Vibrance and Oxygen automatically qualify. That puts them at 3-0. PK and Ghost then drop down as 2-1. And in our eliminations, we'll do mid last. But in our low round, DVS beats top lane. So top lane goes 0-3 and gets removed. .exe beats RBG. RBG goes 0-3, gets removed. They stay alive. We go next. Mid, Accelerate beats Shopify Rebellion. I would probably say Tool Bambi and J-Bot right now are the better team due to the sub and everything else going on, which is crazy how much, again, one player change everything for Shopify Rebellion. We got Sonics and Torrent. I expect that to just be a close series. I equate these two kind of the same in my brain overall. Spaceman sweep as well. 2-1 OT for Sonics. They lose it. And then they shut them out. Jesus, what happened? That's actually pretty crazy. Rogue versus E United. Rogue drops to E United. So something's in the water over at E United, and it's been going well. Glad to see them showcasing, living up. A lot of people have been counting out E United, obviously because of the results. They don't know how Savvy's going to be playing and everything else. And it looks like E United just having a good day until we get to the next round, which we'll talk about. Yo versus Charlotte Phoenix. Charlotte Phoenix having a rough go at it. 2 OTs. They do trade. And then, I mean, this is just Rocket League in a nutshell. You expect some certain results to happen, and you just get conflicting results. It's all over the place, which is really, really tough. That's why Swiss, to me, and I'm a huge fan of it, is it rewards consistency. The top teams are going to get better seed, and as long as you win your matches convincingly, you will be rewarded for it, unless Vitality decides to go dookie booty and then drop to lower rounds or KC or whatever. But they're not doing themselves any favors. It's a tough battle for them, too. Either way, Yo upsetting Charlotte Phoenix, that's pretty surprising. Pretty crazy stuff. That's a lot closer series than it looks to. All 1-goal games here in the last 3. So with that, Ghost Gaming, PK, Accelerate, Sonics, United, and Yo get thrown into the high. Shopify Rebellion, Torrent, Rogue, Charlotte Phoenix, DVS, and EXE go into the low. These 2 teams have to play one of these 4 teams. And then there's going to be one crossover. We then go into the high. PK plays Sonics, and they end up winning 3-0. This one is a pretty big surprise. I'm curious on what happened in this series, but I know PK, you saw a lot of tweets. I think it was from Alpha Cap talking about, like, we finally get to showcase what we've been trying to do. Things are working out. We're playing well. 2-1, 4-0, 3-2. A sweep. That surprises me. I'm glad to see things go well, but wow, that's surprising. Also, don't forget, round 3. These are all losses, so they get eliminated. You're going to see the same thing on the low side here. That surprises me. Usually Sonics, I think, would win that match, but glad to see PK showcasing what's up. Ghost Gaming versus Yo. Ghost Gaming should win that. They do. 3-1, 3-2, 3-1, 2-0. I do like how many goals Ghost is scoring. That's a recipe for success. Averaging 2 to 3 goals a game is a good way to win. If you can keep that, it means someone's going well with your offense. And then Accelerate versus United. I would normally give it to Accelerate, I would say, based upon EU's like first 2 regionals. So Accelerate winning there does force EU to go play a tough match. They probably have the best game differential, though, out of all those teams on the low side, which I think is why they play DVS. But 3-1 for United, and then Spaceman sweep again. Accelerate. Way to bounce back. Tool, Bambi, and J-Bot showcasing. Very, very solid team. I think it's not that they're bad. I think they get outplayed by the teams above them. And it's not due to them being bad. It's just, you look at some of the rosters in these higher tier rosters, and you're like, yeah, the players are just better. What do you want me to do? It happens. They just have better talent. And that's not to discredit anybody on Accelerate. Boys play hard. Very, very good gatekeeper team, as I would refer to them. You got to go through teams like Accelerate if you want to make it into the main event. So these 3 teams move on. They have qualified into our top 8 or top 16. These 3 teams drop down to lower round 5. They're now 2-2 and have to play for their lives. These teams are playing for elimination. Winners move on for one more chance. Losers go home. Charlotte Phoenix does bounce back, beats .exe as expected. Glad to see Charlotte Phoenix showing back up. It is 5, very spooky 5. An 8-minute, 9-second overtime that EXE wins. Those hurt. Those hurt a lot. You talk about a 1-goal game in the first game, kind of the feeler match. Game 2, Charlotte Phoenix goes, no. Our offense is great. What's up, car parts? And then they get shut out 2 in a row. So EXE making some big adjustments. But even still, Charlotte Phoenix keeps it close. And then their chance to adjust, if you want to call it that, and they win 2-0. Pretty wild stuff from Charlotte Phoenix. That's the back and forth. That makes me lose a little bit of confidence in Charlotte Phoenix. Makes me a little bit nervous for them in the next round, but I'm going to try to divert my gaze. DVS and Torrent. That one is a big shocker. DVS has qualified in the past, but Torrent should win that. 3-2, 3-2, 1-0, 2-1. I mean, those are all 1-goal games. That's a really close series. That's a series you want to go back and watch. 2 OTs as well, which DVS wins both. I mean, that's your difference maker. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a really good series. I would love to go back and watch that. That one's tough. Being on elimination. Normally I would give the nod to Torrent, especially with having Mystic. Mystic's been in tough scenarios like that before in the past too. But 1-goal games, man, that's a battle. That's an absolute battle. That would be fun to go back and watch. Same thing with this next one. Rogue versus Shopify Rebellion. Rogue should win this, in my opinion, more convincingly. I would like to see them be doing that, but also kudos to Shopify Rebellion for trying to battle it out. They start off strong. 2-1, 2-0, 2-1 with 11-minute and 23-second OT. What is with these long OTs? My goodness. You want to talk about teams that are trying to fight and battle for a spot? 11 minutes of overtime. That's over 2 more games already. Like, that's 15-minute plus minutes straight of one game that could determine whether you make it or not. Like, that's the difference maker in the series. Rogue winning that is what allows them to win in the series. That's insane. They essentially played 6 matches. Almost 7. That's nuts. It's one thing to do the Sunless Con thing where you play for 24 hours, which is going on actually right now when people are watching this video. I should be a part of it. But it's another thing to do it with stuff on the line, like for a chance to make it into the main event, for a chance to go to the major, all that kind of stuff, prize money, things that add up over the course of the entire season. Like, that's whew, no envy there. No envy there. But that does eliminate Shopify, Rebellion, EXE, and Torrent. So we've got Rogue, DVS, and Charlotte Phoenix. They have to play PK, GG, and Accelerate. These three cannot play each other unless they absolutely have to. Or, I mean, Sonics, Yo, and E United. My bad. Sonics, Yo, and E United have to play one of these three as long as they haven't played each other before, and it ends up working out. So, based upon game differential, they'll check to see. E United has the highest game differential. DVS has the lowest game differential. Have they played each other before? The answer is no. E United plays DVS. Yo then has the second highest. Have they played Rogue? No, they play. So it ends up working out pretty cleanly. Sonics does have the lowest game differential, and you can kind of see it in a lot of their matches too. So Sonics gets the worst end of it, and E United comes out and bops DVS, which is awesome. I think this is them putting themselves in a recipe for success. Obviously, they made some pretty tough matchups along the way to not make it easy. Like, this is one that you hope for a top 16 team, you go out and win that. But no, I don't think Corrupted G played in all of them. I think he played only the first 3 rounds, I think it said. Yeah, he played in rounds 1 through 3. So he did not play here, and he did not play here. So this was with the full roster. This was with the full roster. And boy, oh boy, did they need them, because game 5's in both of them. That's nuts. Corrupted G put up a pretty decent fight, but talk about importance for coming back because of internet issues for Taroko. But man, way to keep him in it. Shoutouts to the coach. Shoutouts to the coach keeping him alive in Corrupted G. But United 3-0 DVS, how close was it? 1-0, 4-2, 5. Okay. United's offense seems to be clicking. Seems to be going pretty well lately. DVS gets eliminated. Yo versus Rogue. 2 OTs, pretty quick off the kickoff. Rogue wins both of those. 1-0, 3-1, 3-0, 2-1, 2-1. It's a lot closer than it looks. Yo put up a pretty good fight, but Rogue should win that. And then we've got Sonics versus Charlotte Phoenix. Another almost 10-minute OT. What is going on with these OTs? You guys want to talk about the depth and everything? The fact that all these teams are super close, even in our, this is our 16 to 24 teams. So 17 to 25 or whatever it is, 17 to 24 math. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. The fact that all these teams are competing for top 16 spots. Half of these are going to progress through to top 16. So this is your 9 to 16 that they're fighting for. 9 to 16 trying to get in, let alone then trying to also fight for top 8. And some of these teams, like, you look at, that's the biggest thing I'm looking at, is teams that didn't qualify. Sonics, Torrent, not qualifying, makes room for E United and PK and Oxygen making it in. Those are the new faces. Oxygen, PK, and E United. That's pretty wild. So if we take a look at the main event, our main event teams, these are your top 8 based upon points. All of these are tied. These are all tied for 4th. And need some big performances. The biggest thing to pay attention to is these 3 are in top 3 right now. I can go into their individual points and stuff. I'll do that probably in another video to keep you guys up to date on the ranking stuff and kind of the, like, requirements. I'll probably do that this week of what's needed for tiebreakers. I'll sit down with Direct. Shoutouts to Direct and all of his big brain stats about what is needed for teams to qualify. If you guys want me to do that, let me know in the comments down below. But these 4 are all tied at, I think, 290 points. Maybe it's 390. I think it's 390 or 290. I forget which one it is. I think it's 290. But all of them being tied at 290 or 390 points. You need 561 points to guarantee a major spot in NA and EU. It's different in other regions because they only have 2 spots available rather than 5. So all of these teams needing a minimum top 4 performance, getting into the semifinals of the playoff bracket to give them a pretty good shot. And then tiebreakers and everything else come into play. So that's what they're shooting for. Top 4 minimum for all of these teams. For 2 spots available. It's pretty nuts. This regional on Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be insane. I love it. I also don't know. Yeah, someone in chat is asking if they're going to get signed beforehand. I don't know. They need a team name. So hopefully they clarify it by Friday. But if they don't, I don't know if we can call them X True Neutral. They're going to have to come up with a name. You guys should let me know in the comments down below. What do you think X True Neutral's new name should be? For Shad, AJG, and Razebull. And then we've got our other teams. And this is the order based upon game differential, when they qualified, all that kind of stuff. Oxygen, Vibrance, PK, Ghost, Accelerate, United, Rogue, Charlotte Phoenix. Hopefully they have the first round matches out by the time this video comes out. if you want to stay up to date on this, link in the description down below. Should be, yeah, you should just name them Vamos. If they don't have a team name by then, just call them Vamos. That'd be sick. I'd be down. Either way, pretty crazy stuff in the closed qualifier for Regional 3. For those that need a reiteration, this is Regional 3. It is the last regional for the fall split. The results here are the last thing to determine whether you make it into the major. Top 5 for North America make it in. Same thing for EU, and then obviously less for the other 6 regions. Some go to wild cards, some guarantee. But it's pretty crazy stuff. That is going to do it for the recap for the closed qualifier. If you guys would like me to do a recap or kind of like an update on tiebreaker stuff, maybe I'll sit down with Direct and see if I can get all of his notes and give him the credit that he definitely deserves. Because without him, a lot of us analyst people can't do our job, because looking up stats and stuff and punching the numbers sucks. Shout out to spreadsheets. But if you guys want me to do a tiebreaker scenario for the upcoming weeks, like what is needed for North America for certain teams to win, let me know in the comments down below, along with any other questions, as well as your suggestions for the former true neutral team name. I think Vamos wins, in my opinion, but maybe you guys have better suggestions. Either way, that is going to do it for me. Chat, do you have any last words for the people on YouTube? What do you guys want to say to the YouTube frogs, whether they be yourself or otherwise? What do you got? Let me know in the chat. I like that. Dark Snake, come hang out with us on Twitch every day but Tuesday and Sunday. Twitch.tv/Lawler. Come hang out with us. Come be a part of some of these recordings. It's always a good time. I will say, even though we don't stream on Tuesdays, we will be streaming today when this video comes out on Tuesday, because Sunless Khan's got a 24-hour stream going on, and I've got, I think, like a 2-hour block I'll be doing. So we'll be streaming as well. So come hang out with us. But that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.